This demo will demonstrate how to create an ASM-based standby database from a file system-based primary database. As you can see, I've got my GUI central command center running. Let's log into it. First of all, we'll have to go and manage our hosts, meaning we have to add our hosts. All this information was part of the input provided during the installation, where we gave host names, remote host names, port numbers, etc. So here we will be entering our primary database server, which is Dbvisit in my case. The passphrase which I've chosen during the installation, and it's Linux. Then I'm going to add my standby server, which is Dbvisit. Again, passphrase, picks up its Linux server, and add. Let's go back to the menu. Now we will create our configuration in the Manage Configurations button. If you click in there, you'll see that we've got no current configurations there. We will click on New. As mentioned, my primary server is Dbvisit. This database running here is a file system based. We will accept the licensing terms. My database here is DevDB. The arc source directory is where Dbvisit will copy the archive logs to before it transfers it over to the standby server. This is not your archive log destination and should also not be. Then the network communications port will be that it is picked up from the installation. Our standby host is Dbvisit. We are going to make use of the same SID. Would you like to use ASM? Oh yes, because we're going from file system to ASM. The ASM instance name will be plus ASM. Again, our arcdest directory, that is the place where Dbvisit will copy the archive logs to on the standby side. Then our base directory should be the same on both. I have a bit of a change to make here because unfortunately my Oracle home on the standby server is slightly different, but we do recommend you try to keep the servers closely the same. Then our unique database name will be DevDB. This configuration name is also called DevDB. You can call it anything you want, but the going rate is using your Oracle SID. Then we apply our license key. It will do a couple of checks in the background just to make sure it is happy with everything that we've provided, and there you can see our configuration. Now we're going to go back and you can see that the rest of the buttons became available. We want to go and create a new standby database which runs on ASM. So let's get to it. We're going to click on the configuration we want to select, and this is the one that we've just created in the previous step. So we're going to choose DevDB. Here it will do a couple of background checks. And this is the part where we are going to say we want a new database. And then we'll have to indicate at this stage that we want to go from file system to ASM. So first of all, we'll have to look at our db create file dest. We want to change it so on standby it gets created in the disk group called plus data. Then we want to go to db recovery file dest, and we also want to change that to ASM. So we want that to be plus FRA. and click on the check mark so Dbvisit can accept it. Then, because we are not making use of OMF, we'll have to make use of the to convert parameters. But in this case, we need to change it the other way around. We are going from file system to ASM, and the same for our log file named convert. We're going from the recovery area file system to plus FRA. Remember again, you need to click on the little pencil tick mark to make sure it gets accepted. Then, are you going to make use of transportable media? We've got a small database, it's not required. If you've got a big database, it is recommended. So in our case, we are making use of temporary location for the RMAN backup, USR temp, and then on the target side or on the standby side, the same. So now we're going to hit Create Standby Database. Submit. An active task will appear in the list, active task list, and you can click on it and it will provide you with a progress report on the status as it runs through the process. If for any reason there's an issue, network, space, whatever, this will turn red and you'll be able to create a support package which you can then provide to our support team through the support portal when you log a ticket, and they will be able to investigate to see what happened and why the creation of the standby database failed. The process for creating the standby database is high level. It's a full backup that's been taken of your database, your primary database. It is then transferred from the primary to the standby servers. On the standby server, the data files and control file gets restored, and from there the standby database is synchronized and opened in recovery mode. And the task is done. You'll also see that the status of the task has got a little check mark in green, which means it has completed successfully. The next thing to do, which is always good practice before carrying on with testing, is to go to database actions and manually send and apply logs, because that will give you an idea as to the functionality and if everything is working as it should. So first of all, we're going to click on the send logs. If there are no logs, a log switch will be forced and that log will then be transferred over to the standby server, as you can see. Then we will go and we will apply that log on the standby. Again, you can see. And just to give you an idea, if you click on the first option there, run a log app report, everything should be in sync. There you can see there's no time lag, looks good. So there is your standby database creation from a file system primary database to a ASM standby database. And just to show you, there is our DBV Lab 03. This is our file systems. And then if we go to our standby database, There we've got our data files, and the same with there's our control file. So that concludes our demonstration. Thank you.